October 2025 Social Security shock, extra checks and bigger payments changing millions of lives. The House of Representatives has taken a step that millions of Americans have been waiting for, and the timing could not be more critical. October 2025 is set to bring a sweeping Social Security update that promises higher payments and, in many cases, even an additional check. For seniors, retirees, and those receiving disability benefits, this could be a lifeline at a time when grocery prices, rent, and healthcare costs continue to climb higher than ever before. The news has already sparked countless questions, and people across the country are asking the same thing. Who qualifies for the increase? How much will it be? And when will it arrive? These questions are not just about numbers on a statement. They are about real lives, real families, and whether the bills will get paid on time. When people hear about a Social Security rise, many assume it's just another small cost of living adjustment, a minor bump that gets swallowed by inflation before it even arrives. But this time, the update is far more substantial. The legislation passed in the House is designed not only to address inflation, but also to close the growing gap between what Social Security provides and what it actually costs to survive in today's economy. The truth is simple, but harsh. For most seniors, Social Security has never been enough to cover even the basics. This update is meant to change that narrative, or at least bring the system closer to the reality that so many people are facing every single day. Every trip to the grocery store feels like a financial burden. A gallon of milk, a loaf of bread, and a few basic staples can now cost more than what entire weeks of shopping once did. Gasoline prices remain unpredictable. Rent is climbing, and utility bills seem to rise month after month without fail. Seniors who work their entire lives are left to stretch their monthly checks in ways that often seem impossible. Some are skipping meals to afford medicine, while others are cutting back on doctor visits because co-pays have become too high. Against this backdrop, the promise of higher Social Security payments and even an extra check is not just welcome, it is urgently needed. But not everyone will qualify in the same way. The increase is being rolled out carefully, taking into account different categories of beneficiaries. Your age, your work history, whether you are currently working part-time, and what type of benefits you receive all matter. Retirees, disabled workers, survivors, spouses, and even dependents may all see changes, but the size of those changes will vary. For some people, the increase will happen automatically, with their October payment reflecting the new amount. For others, there may be additional steps required, such as confirming eligibility or updating paperwork with the Social Security Administration. Missing these steps could mean missing out on money you are entitled to. What makes this update even more remarkable is that it does not stop at monthly increases. There are provisions for retroactive payments in certain cases, meaning that some beneficiaries may be owed money for past months or even years, where benefits did not reflect true cost of living needs. Imagine expecting only a modest increase, only to find out that you are also eligible for a lump sum that could cover overdue bills, or finally allow you to catch up financially. That is the reality facing many people right now. Take Martha, for example. She is a 68-year-old retiree who began receiving Social Security 3 years ago. She assumed, like many others, that she would not qualify for this new increase because she had already been receiving benefits for years. But after reviewing the new rules, she discovered not only that she did qualify, but that she was owed retroactive funds she never even realized were available. For her, it was like finding money she didn't know she had earned. Stories like hers will become more common in the months ahead as more people begin to understand the depth of these changes. The choice of October 2025 as the rollout date is no coincidence. The government has been carefully aligning this update with other economic and demographic factors. Rising inflation, growing senior populations, and political pressure from both parties all played a role. By acting now, lawmakers are attempting to cushion some of the most vulnerable groups from further economic hardship while also addressing concerns about the long-term stability of Social Security. Importantly, this increase is designed with safeguards to prevent Medicare premiums, which are often deducted directly from Social Security checks, from swallowing up the new money. For once, seniors may actually see the full benefit of an increase rather than watching it vanish into higher medical costs. Another unique aspect is how the legislation addresses the earnings limit for people who continue to work while receiving benefits. Many retirees and disabled individuals take part-time jobs to make ends meet, but under previous rules, earning too much could reduce their Social Security checks. The new update revises those calculations, potentially allowing people to earn more without penalties. For those who still need or want to stay in the workforce, this could be a major breakthrough that finally makes working worthwhile again. Questions about taxes are also surfacing quickly, as they always do when benefits rise. The legislation includes new tax provisions aimed at easing the burden, but how they play out will depend heavily on individual circumstances. For some, this could mean a smaller tax bill at the end of the year. For others, careful planning will be required to make sure the increase does not push them into a higher tax bracket. Understanding these details ahead of time will help beneficiaries hold on to more of their money rather than losing it to the IRS. This update is not just about current recipients either. Future retirees will see changes in how their benefits are calculated, and this could directly affect the decision of when to start claiming. Claiming early has always come with trade-offs, but the new rules could alter those trade-offs in ways that make later retirement even more advantageous. Survivors' benefits and spousal benefits are also being recalculated in ways that could increase payments for families who have long struggled to get by on reduced checks. Children and even ex-spouses may benefit under certain circumstances, making the ripple effect of this legislation far broader than many realize. Concerns about sustainability have not been ignored. The Social Security program has been under financial pressure for years, and critics often argue that increases put future stability at risk. But the legislation passed in October comes with funding provisions meant to strengthen the program's foundation. Lawmakers are presenting this as a balance, relief for today's seniors without endangering tomorrow's retirees. Whether or not those provisions are enough will be debated for years, but for now, the focus is on relief and fairness for those already struggling. The changes will not be without challenges. Some beneficiaries may face delays in receiving updated payments due to technical issues, administrative backlogs, or errors in processing. The legislation includes safeguards for these situations, but recipients must stay vigilant. It is important to review benefit statements carefully, confirm the amount being received, and know how to file an appeal if the numbers do not add up. Appeals procedures are already in place, and understanding them could mean the difference between missing out and getting what you are owed. State programs will also play a role. While Social Security is a federal program, many states have supplemental programs or assistance that interact with federal benefits. These interactions could either increase or decrease what individuals ultimately receive depending on where they live. For example, a higher Social Security check could reduce eligibility for certain state-level assistance programs, while in other states, the increase could be matched by additional support. And beneficiaries need to know how these state-specific rules may affect their total package. Beyond the technicalities, the practical question remains: how should people prepare? Now is the time to review benefits, gather documents, and understand the timelines for when increases will appear. Adjusting budgets to reflect the new income, planning ahead for potential tax changes, and thinking carefully about healthcare costs will all help make the most of this increase. For families, this may also mean conversations about spousal or dependent benefits, ensuring that every member of the household receives what they are entitled to. October 2025 will not just be another month, it will be a turning point for millions of Americans who have long depended on Social Security, but found it increasingly difficult to survive on what they received. The rise and potential extra check represent more than money. They represent stability, dignity, and recognition for years of hard work. While challenges remain, the opportunity is here. This is not simply about surviving. For many, it is finally about breathing easier, catching up on overdue bills, and living with a little more peace of mind. The story of Social Security has always been one of promise and struggle, but with this change, that story may finally bend a little closer toward fairness.